Welcome back to Talking with Our Traders, a Caesar Sportsbook original series, the podcast that takes you inside the mind of the sportsbook with our very own Caesar Sportsbook traders. I'm your host, Cindi Edwards, and with me today and all season long, Craig Mucklow, Vice President of Trading here at Caesar Sportsbook.
Hello there.
And Joey Feasel, Head of Football here at Caesars.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
It's going.
Yeah.
Halloween season, so that's always fun.
Always.
Joey's going as the Grinch.
Yeah, I am the Grinch in real life. Yeah.
Craig, you should be going as the Grinch. Yeah. All right. Well, major news in the college football world. LSU has parted ways with head coach Brian Kelly. Good move or bad move?
Probably a good move. I mean, if you saw this last couple games, he's really just been getting into everybody on the sidelines. I was at the bar watching the LSU game this last weekend, and A&M had another nice punt return, and Brian Kelly he was getting in the special teams coordinator. He was getting in all the players' ears. It just didn't look like the culture was good at the time. So probably the right move. And look, LSU has high expectations. If you're a top-level SEC program, you're expected to lose 1 or 2 games. We're already at 3 losses. They still have a couple tough games left to go. So it was probably the right move. He never really got over the hump into being that national contender that we had hoped. So, yeah, it's probably justified.
Yeah, it's the right move. A $50 million buyout, though. These salaries are just bonkers. Insane. Rumor mill, Ed Oregon going back. The governor of Louisiana's already got involved in the discussion.
Yeah, I saw that.
But you know who it's a good move for?
Oh.
All the coaches that are in a job that are doing well right now, because these schools are like, somebody's knocking the door. Matt Rule got paid this morning because he's a great coach, not, what was that, 53 million or something? Sigeti, 93 million.
I mean, if they're just going to be giving away money, you guys should go out and become college head coaches.
No.
I might be in the Brian Kelly category.
And anyway, Joey can't coach. He's always in the bar.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, well, following up, is LSU the best available job right now?
It's that in Florida. You know, these are 2 top. I think Florida's probably edging out a little bit because you have so much talent in your backyard of Florida, and that's why it's such a coveted job, because you do have, if you're an hour away from someone, whereas LSU's 8 hours away from somebody, you have that advantage to just be closer and just land those big recruits. Plus, who wants, a lot of kids want to live in Florida. There's a lot of pretty women down there. There's a lot going on. So I think Florida's probably edges out slightly, but LSU's right there in the mix.
2 humid climates.
I would take LSU, even though I'm a Miami boy at heart, only because of all the distractions Joey just mentioned.
Where do we think Kelly will end up next? Do we think he'll end up as a head coach somewhere?
I think he's going to take a year off, like we see most of these coaches do, kind of let the waters clear, kind of get a clear head. But I don't think he comes back as a blue blood program. I think he comes back at, some maybe Wisconsin, Stanford, Boston College, Arkansas, UCLA, kind of just that lower level and kind of build up so where he can get that big job again. Because again, when you go into these big programs, there are super high expectations. And if you've just had a rough season at LSU, it's probably best to work your way up again. So I think he's going to take a year off and then take a lesser job.
Yeah, makes sense. I would if I just got paid $50 million.
Yeah. All right. Texas A&M has had multiple big wins over top teams, including this weekend on the road against, of course, LSU. Why are they only 9-1 to win the Natty?
Oh, it's the 4th best odds. So, I mean, they're up there in the mix. But if we look at their competition up there, we have Alabama up there, Ohio State, Indiana. Both have arguably bigger wins and just a better pedigree, better efficiency metrics. And so they're on the outside looking in, but they're certainly an impressive program, and that's why they're at 9-1 as opposed to when they opened up, which was much higher.
Yeah, and you get to a point in the season now where you've got the cream of the crop, Ohio State, and when you build out to a margin for these futures, and now you can start predicting the 12 teams and start looking at the path of the probabilities you're going through. So sometimes it's more your margin that you're setting, how much are you taking out with Ohio State, how much are you taking out with Indiana, Alabama, and then, okay, now I've got this bit of a margin. So now, and then you're looking at liability as well. So there's multiple factors now that go into it. So it's not a knock that A&M are that great because it's 9-1. It's not a knock that they're that bad because they're 9-1. It's how the margin pans out now.
A lot of factors.
Yes.
Okay. Do we need to start talking about Marcel Reed in that Heisman discussion?
He's in the mix, certainly. I mean, it just seems like we haven't got that super front runner.
Yeah.
We talked about it last week. Fernando Mendoza, they're going to continue to pad those stacks. So he looks like he might run away with this if nothing changes here in the next couple weeks. But Marcel Reed's a great quarterback, dual threat production, which is a lot of time. It serves well for a Heisman race, right? You're able to do it on the ground and through the air. If they finish undefeated and he still has a lot of big wins down the way, he could surpass the Fernando Mendoza, the Ty Simpson, the Julian Sands of the world. But right now he's on the outside looking in.
It's Mendoza's to lose, purely because of the schedule and because of how that team plays. And I've had the stats all. Yeah, as long as he doesn't get injured, I can't see him getting beat now. Or they don't have one horrific game where they lose to one of these cupcakes. Right. Simpson, I was not impressed with on Saturday. South Carolina let them get away with one, and it's a shame because I was really hoping South Carolina won that game. Julian Sainz got the defense, so he's on the outside looking in.
Got it. Well, Ole Miss beat Oklahoma 34-26. What did that win do to SEC futures? And is Oklahoma officially eliminated from the college football playoffs, as we alluded they might be if this was the case?
Yeah, Ole Miss's win over Oklahoma didn't really make that much of an impact to the SEC futures, despite actually eliminating Oklahoma, essentially. For Oklahoma, the loss was devastating. Now they're 6-2, and they got a brutal remaining schedule. Means they'd have to win out for any realistic shot. And even then, history suggests that the 3-loss team is not really going to make the college football playoffs. So, they might be not officially eliminated, but pretty much eliminated. I'd be fair to say they're probably not in.
The Undertaker is sharpening the nails to the coffin. They're pretty much done. The plus 650 for them to make the playoffs suggests as such as well. They need to run the table against a very tough schedule, and they're going to need a ton of help, but 3-loss teams don't get in.
Yep.
Fair. Texas quarterback Arch Manning left last week's game in overtime with a concussion. How does his outlook affect Texas futures and look-ahead pricing? I know there's a possibility that he's back this week.
Yeah, I mean, we came into this year, Arch Manning being the Lord Jesus Christ, right? He was he was going to be so good. He really hasn't been that guy. Texas, really, the strength of their team is their defense. Hasn't been running the offense side of the ball. They look like they were cooked in this past game. Obviously, came back, went to overtime. But yeah, losing your starting quarterback is always gonna hurt you a bit. So yeah, I think at this point it depends on whether he plays or not. The line is moving up towards Texas' way, so it looks like he is playing. But if he misses multiple games, I think the Longhorns might be in trouble.
I have referred to him as Lord Jesus Christ on a couple of occasions, as in Lord Jesus Christ, you are not that good. Look, they've got a great defense. They've got a solid run offense. That's where their identity is. It's clearly not Manning's team this year. The expectation was too high. He hasn't performed like that. But you wouldn't amend it that much because he's not that much of a difference maker this year. So he's a year away. I think he needs another year for sure.
Okay, well, speaking of underperformance, during the preseason, this college football quarterback class really was hyped up and seemed to be stacked with talent. Going into week 10, what's your impression of this quarterback class moving forward?
It was the hype was real. This was one quarterback draft class that was stacked, especially if we compare to last year where Shedeur Sanders, who was projected to go second, wound up going to the 6th round or whatever he went. We had things like injuries that played a part and just inconsistency and just expectations that were too high, like Arch Manning, Cade Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier. They have not been that NFL-ready quarterback, and they're not going to go high in the draft if it was held today. Where some guys have stepped out. Ty Simpson, Fernando Mendoza, Marcel Reed have shown that they are a little bit better of a quarterback, maybe a little more college quarterback, but I think that they made a step over the previous, the guys that were looked ahead to be the 1, 2, 3 of next year's draft.
What's the word for below mid?
Bad?
Bad. Below mid, yeah.
I mean, it's easy.
Not good.
It's easy to forget. These are kids.
Yeah.
And all these expectations on them is a lot for young adults to live up to. And the Browns are really upset because they were looking to draft 2 more quarterbacks this year, and they're not going to.
Yeah.
Do you agree with Joey's top 3?
None of them.
Craig doesn't like anyone. All right, well, let's get into game previews. Let's start with number 9, Vanderbilt, at number 20, Texas. Arch Manning's status is unclear, still in that concussion protocol, but Joey, you mentioned the line may be trending like he might be playing.
It's usually the giveaway.
That's usually the giveaway, right? We opened this, I think we opened this up at 3, went down to 1.5. Now it's creeped back up to 3. Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I mean, these are the type of games that Diego Pavia loves, right? This is where he comes in as an underdog, and that's where he thrives. So Texas is probably going to need Arch Manning in order to get this done, because something that's overlooked on this Vanderbilt team is they have a pretty solid defense as well. They've played well despite being everything focused on Diego Pavia. I think, I kind of like Vanderbilt in this one. I think it's going to be a gritty game, a really defensive game. Again, like Texas's strength is their defense, and Vanderbilt has a good defense as well. So I think this will come down to which quarterback's going to be better. If Arch Manning's in, is he going to be better than Diego Pavia, who Diego Pavia is definitely enjoying the underdog story thus far.
Which he always says.
Yeah.
Craig, you like the under here?
I love the under.
Love.
Texas 19th on defense. Vandy's the 12th best scorer in offense in the FBS. However, Vandy have really struggled against ranked teams. They've only scored 15 points in those games against the better teams. This is also on the road. I'm not a fan of the points, but clearly the line move suggests Manning's playing. Texas has struggled though to score against good defenses, and Vandy has a good defense and like to grind it out. But their offensive production always drops against the good teams as well, hence I like the under. Tough to take Texas as a side, but I'm not convinced Vandy either. And this is 9 a.m. Saturday?
Yep.
Yeah, nice start to big game for Saturday morning.
Certainly.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Number 18, Oklahoma, at number 14, Tennessee. Line sits Tennessee -3, total 56. Both teams are 6-2. So is this a playoff elimination game, essentially?
Usually it is. That third win is usually going to be difficult, something to overcome. So, yeah, both these teams want it good. I think this line reflects still the respect for Oklahoma's defense going into this one. I think, when we had a couple weeks ago, Mateer coming back, wow, he had surgery 3 weeks ago. How's he back? He really hasn't gotten over the hump. And it's he got surgery. So it's understandable, but they probably pushed him out probably too fast. But no, this Tennessee team can score. That's still their strategy. It's kind of the opposite. If like Ohio State's really going to hold that ball, have that time of possession, really grind their way to a victory. Tennessee's out there to have some splashes. So I do like Tennessee a little bit in this case, because I don't think that Oklahoma is going to be able to match up to score for score. So they're going to have to play solid defense. And if they kind of struggle and go 3-and-out, that just opens up the door for Tennessee to build up the pace, get that defense tired, and I think that they're going to be able to get it done here.
Great offense versus great defense. The third best offense in Tennessee and the sixth best defense in Oklahoma. Tennessee are flattered. 72 points versus ETSU, 56 versus Kentucky. Those shouldn't really move the needle. They did put up 41 versus Georgia. But they lost to 2 of the ranked teams, one where they choked away the win. They should have absolutely beat Georgia. The other one, the quarterback was awful against Alabama. Would they have won? No. But they should have covered. I'm going defense here. Oklahoma plus the points. Okay. Must win for both teams. Otherwise, start prepping for your vacation in January, because 3 losses does not get you in.
1, 2, 3, Cabo.
Yep. All right, moving on to Ohio State, Penn State. Ohio State currently sets at -20.5. Will Penn State put up a fight against the number 1 team in the country, or do we like the points with Ohio here?
I don't like either side of this. Ohio State seems to generally just grind it out all game long, and then they cover in the fourth quarter. So I would think Ohio State would have the edge here, but this is going to be Penn State Super Bowl, right? This was the match that was looked forward to the entire year, and then Penn State.
Oh, how they've fallen!
How they've fallen. Even though I don't know if they were at the.
Do you know what this line was?
Good look
in
at
the
it.
beginning.
Probably a touchdown.
Yeah,
Wow.
maybe a little less, like 4.5, 6, probably before season started. I mean, Penn State was looked at being very good, a lot of talent, and that hasn't been the case this year. So I think Penn State will put up a fight, but I think this goes a fourth quarter cover to Ohio State.
Ooh. Craig?
Can I take credit for Penn State's downfall? Because
Sure.
I backed UCLA
Why
money
not?
line.
You can't.
Yeah.
They
Did.
have a 26.5-point dogs.
Yeah, you did.
Ohio State is 6-1 against the spread. Penn State 1-6 against the spread. So you know which way I'm leaning.
Yeah.
Penn State on a 4-game losing streak. 2 of those games, they were 20-point favorites or more. Now they get back-to-back number 1 and number 2 in the country, Ohio State and Indiana. I just think it gets worse. The number 1 defense in the country, Ohio State, versus the 99th best offense. Even the Tennessee Titans have a better offense than Penn State. If you haven't got the trend yet, how much I love defense over offense, then this is another one. Look, can Penn State, theoretically, Ohio State averaged 36.5 points a game, which means Penn State will have to cover 16 points, theoretically, to cover that spread. That'll tie the most points Ohio State have given up in a game this year. No team other than Illinois got to double digits against Ohio State. And opposing teams have only found the end zone of Ohio State 4 times all year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you've convinced me.
And one was, when I was double checking, wow, this is even less. But I found they missed an extra point. So I had to double check it. I thought it was 2 field goals. But yeah, I mean, like getting in that end zone is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, big
Yeah.
time.
So yeah, not a massive opinion. I just don't think Penn State can score enough and not to
Yeah,
cover.
probably not.
Yeah.
Too much.
All right. Last but not least, we have number 17 Cincinnati at number 24 Utah. Line sits Utah -10. Joey, break it down.
Well, if you're a Big 12 football fan, this is the game for you. These are the clash of styles, and it has a lot of stakes in this one, right? The Big 12 title game. Both these guys can get to that, and obviously, what does that do? That punches a ticket to the playoffs. So, Cincinnati, they like to throw the ball. They like to run up the score. They like to score a lot of points. Utah has the ability to score a lot of points, but they're really centered around their defense, really centered around their running game. They're getting back their quarterback, which is why we've seen this line kind of jack up to all the way to 10. I'm not sure who I like in this one. I mean, it's a big number. I would like Utah, but 10 is probably a little too much to lay. I think the line's just about right there. And Sorsby is kind of underrated in this spot. So I think slightly lean towards Cincinnati getting the 10, but no real opinion there.
Craig?
Cincy without their lead in Russia, he's not playing this weekend. This was almost my dog of the week. Utah have lost 2 of their 3 games versus ranked opponents. Obviously the toughest game left of the season. But again, 3 losses, vacation time, and that'll be Utah. Cincinnati had lost on opening day. Since then, they've averaged 30 points per game, bar 1 of those games. I love Cincinnati straight up. Almost love Cincinnati.
Almost got there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into our picks of the week. Favorite college football game to go over?
I like Florida, Georgia to go over 50.5. It's a neutral site game. And Georgia, really, their defense hasn't been what we've seen. So I think this score is going to get run up. I like the over 50.5.
Mississippi State, Arkansas, 67.5, which is normally those aren't ones I touch, but it just senses that way.
All right. Favorite college football game to go under?
Duke Clemson under 55.5. 2 really solid defenses. They kind of like to draw the ball out. Clemson's going to try to score a lot of points, but I think Duke can really contain them. So I like this game to stay under.
Hawaii, San Jose State under 57.5. Team traveling to a home favorite. Lends to the under. Both went wrong last week, but they've done pretty well all year.
All right. Favorite college football team to cover the spread?
Like Tennessee -3 going back off fade Craig in this spot, and we'll see how that goes.
Oh, yeah. You're going to need to be in the bar when that one goes on.
Yeah, roughly.
Stanford plus 14.5.
There you go.
Gone to Stanford. You knew I was going to take it. Too many points. The travel, home dog. Yes, please.
There you go.
All right. Favorite college football team to upset their opponent?
I'm going to do the Florida State fade here. I'm taking Wake Forest plus 285.
Wow, for the
Ooh.
first time ever, you have taken a bigger price than me for once.
Woo! Probably won't cash, but yeah.
This is the only thing I'm actually good at. Everything else
I
I
know,
completely
you're
stink at. I got this
Great
right
at
last
calling
week with Akron.
upsets.
10-point dog Akron on the road last week.
Yeah.
All right, what do you
straight
got
up.
this week?
Not as sexy, I'm afraid. New Mexico State plus 265.
All right.
Wow, yeah, just barely got ahead of you.
Barely. And that really disappoints me.
Craig, any weather we should be aware of before bettors start betting these college slates?
Obviously, when you start looking at the weather, your first thoughts go to everybody in Jamaica.
Yeah, of
that's
course.
Terrible.
Yep.
Not a ton of weather action this week. Windy the first half of Notre Dame and Boston College. That's it.
All right. Let's move on to NFL. We are officially at the halfway point of the NFL regular season.
Yeah.
Feels like just yesterday was week 1. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Let's go through our predictions for the rest of the season. This is going to be rapid style fire edition. Who will win Offensive Player of the Year?
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, without fail. Saquon won it last year for the same reason.
Yeah.
Who will win Defensive Player of the Year?
Aiden Hutchinson. I think the Lions defense gets better at the second half of the year.
I almost took Aiden Hutchinson, but they're not winning the division, so I'm going Micah Parsons.
Oh, there you go.
All right, I like it. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Tyler Warren for the Colts. I think their offense probably keeps steaming. If you look at their schedule, it's not getting any harder. So I think that they're going to keep the ball rolling, and the Bears fans will be crying at the end of the year because they could have had him over Colson Loveland.
You have to be on a winning team,
Yeah.
which I think rules out Jackson Dart's favorite. Emeka Egbuka plus 125.
All right. Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Nick Emanwari for Seattle. He's a safety. He's huge. When I do my favorite thing of every year, and that's the NFL draft, I really liked him to kind of be that number one safety, and a lot of teams just overlooked him, and he's really showing his worth week in and week out. And he fell at a good team with Seattle, so I like him.
This is a 2-horse race between Abdul Carter and Jihad Campbell. But there was an article came out that they're going to use Jihad Campbell on less snaps now because of the coverage, which means I'll go Abdul Carter.
There you go.
All right. League MVP.
Patrick Mahomes.
The sigh. The sigh. Yeah, he's favorite right now.
You're going to love my answer.
Okay, go.
Josh Allen, because they beat them on Sunday.
Oh, there you go.
They do have a habit of beating them in the regular season. Okay, AFC champions.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
You can see how much research
It hurts.
Joey put
It
into this.
hurts. It hurts.
It's clearly affecting him.
Let me pick a favorite.
Craig,
Baltimore Ravens.
still,
Yeah.
you're still on the Ravens.
Have they lost yet since I went in again for the third time this year?
No.
I mean, they're one loss away from me ripping
no
up
one
those
likes
tickets.
the New England Patriots here. Okay.
Nobody likes the New England Patriots.
No, they weren't even on the radar.
NFC champions.
I told you this 10 weeks ago.
Your Los Angeles Rams.
I told
I
you
like
them
the
as
Rams.
well.
Yeah.
I like the Rams.
I have a ticket on the Rams on the futures. I said them week 1, but the Packers are the better of the teams.
All right. Super Bowl champions.
The only team that's going to be able to take down my least favorite team is my favorite team. Los Angeles Rams beat the Chiefs 24-3. Let's throw a score out there.
Oh, wow. Craig.
Packers over Ravens.
Wow.
Even though I think probably now financially I'm probably a bigger fan of the Ravens.
Yeah.
Only because of all the
Hey,
prices.
get out at that spot if you need to.
I don't hedge. I don't cash out. I don't hedge.
I'd be happy with either of these matchups and either of these outcomes. All right, moving on. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready. Wait for this question all week.
Oh, yeah. I may not have read this.
5 quarterbacks in NFL history have had 200 plus passing yards and 100 plus passer rating in 7 straight games. Care to guess who those quarterbacks are? We have Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and Drake MF May. Are you ready to apologize?
No.
No.
His streak is impressive, but does that automatically make him elite? No. Context matters. His 7-game run has come against defenses ranked in the bottom half of the league. And New England's scheme is heavily relied on short, high percentage throws that are going to inflate his passer rating and everything else. His average depth of target is 7.1 yards, which is solid, but not spectacular. His EPA per play is not that great either. I mean, it's not at this level where you're comparing him for these other quarterbacks.
His deep ball's still elite, though.
And it might
7
be.
yards.
20 plus.
Look, he might be elite, but in order to be elite, you got to beat the good teams, and he has not done that yet. You have to be impressive in the playoffs, and look, he's a young quarterback, and history says that's probably not going to be the case. So I'm not throwing him out and saying he's bad. I'm just saying he's not elite at this moment.
If the Patriots win a playoff game, can I get an apology?
I'll give an apology if they get. Well, it depends. Yeah. Okay. I'll just if they win a playoff game, I'll make an apology. I'm not calling him elite, but I'll make an apology.
Craig?
Do you know the joys of being married? You apologize for things you've never even done wrong.
Tell my boyfriend that.
Okay, so he'll have to learn that lesson.
Yeah.
I'm quite willing to give him advice. Those quarterbacks you mentioned, besides Drake May, 19 Super Bowls.
Yeah. A big bulk of it
Every single
coming
one.
from
half
Tom
of
Brady.
them. Yeah. He did lose 3 Super Bowls. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
He played amazing in those 3 Super Bowls as well.
They lost.
Probably better than the ones he won, but go on.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Every single one of those quarterbacks named, not Drake May, will be a first-time ballot Hall of Famer, without fail.
Drake May's in his 2nd year. Hold on.
Yeah. And you're crowning him like he's the new Tom Brady.
I just want you guys to be aware that your hate is a little uncalled for at this point.
As a Dolphins fan and a lifelong Dolphins fan, I will always hate the Patriots till the day I die.
Yeah, fair.
Okay?
My father also hated the Patriots, and that's coming.
And it will be on my tombstone.
Okay.
No, let's just stop talking about Drake May until he wins a Super Bowl.
Okay, so it's going to take a Super Bowl for Craig to apologize. It's going to take a playoff game for Joey. All right.
I have a little more.
If the Patriots win the Super Bowl, I'll double the dinner.
All right, we'll circle
go.
back at the end of season. The Texans defeated San Francisco last week. Did that loss make a meaningful impact to Niners futures market? They're currently 3rd longest to win the NFC West.
Look, the NFC West is stacked.
Yeah.
Rams look good. Again, I think they just made a move on defense, and I think they might make a couple moves. They might really go at it this year, being good on both sides of the ball and taking advantage of that young defense. Seattle appears to be, good every week, right?
Legit.
On both sides of the ball. They still have growing pains to get through, but they're still a contender. The Niners, you guys know how I feel about Kyle Shanahan. I think he's a great coach, but, in order for them to stay relevant, they just have to keep winning because their entire roster is just defeated. All their top players are hurt.
Every year.
But they kept winning games, so that kept them relevant. So in order to stay relevant, they just have to continue to win games and just put themselves in a better playoff spot. But look, Christian McCaffrey can only do so much at the end of the day. So, I think in the next couple of weeks we could see kind of that collapse. The Houston Texans too. I can't get a hold of that team.
Yeah,
one week they're good, one week they're terrible. I don't know.
the
That's usually good for
Falcons.
us, but it's hard for me to get a hold of what that team is. So Niners are hurt.
You'd have to question what goes on in the off-season or in training camp with so many injuries on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
There's got to be some reason. It can't just be bad luck all the time.
Right.
You say they're 3rd favorites, but it's like 210, 235, 245. It's a
Nothing
3-way
big.
tie. Nothing big. I just think it was a bad day for the 49ers. Joey's spot on. Houston at Jekyll and Hyde. It's just an off day. The 49ers will be fine. The problem is McVay despises draft picks. McVay would rather just not pick a draft player in April. So he'll trade them away anyway just to get players to build up the team. So it wouldn't surprise me if they go all in. And they've got the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Is Jalen Hurts having an MVP season? 20 total touchdowns to just 1 interception and an NFC best 6 wins right now.
No, because he does it against bad teams. just a couple weeks ago, we were questioning whether Jalen Hurts was good or not. And now it's an MVP. I don't know about that. They're heavily relying on that tush push, and that makes the Eagles good, especially if every one of your downs is your 1st and 9, right? Because if I get to that 1 yard, like I know I'm highly effective to get that first down. He's behind names. We know Jonathan Taylor's probably not going to win it, but he's up there because he's the best non-quarterback right now. And then you just got like Craig said, this weekend is going to really make a big favorite likely for the MVP market with Josh Allen, Mahomes going back to back. Drake May, we know that the end's coming near. Every week, Cindi just keeps putting that nail in the coffin for us to break her heart that he's not that good.
Drake May will do it, don't worry.
She did it to Baker Mayfield, so now it's Drake May's turn. So that's there might be value there, but I just don't see it because the talent that's around him on that team.
Being an efficient quarterback does not win you MVP. He's not lighting the stat sheet up. The Eagles are winning, but they're winning ugly. They're getting outgained all the time by their opponents. There's zero chance the tush push survives the committee next year because the officials are not officiating it properly.
Yeah.
And it's tough to officiate. I'm not getting wrong. I've sat in referees training sessions with the Big Ten. And it's really impressive how they teach the refs, but you've still got to be able to see these things. Like the full starts, it was clearly a fumble against the Giants. So there's no way this gets voted in next year. It's gone.
Well, they got a Super Bowl out of it, so.
Well, they didn't push 99 yards down the field, did they? I do think there'll become separation after this weekend's game. If one side's a blowout, I really favour the Bills this weekend. Two that I've looked at last night, Jordan Love's quietly going about his business and winning games, and they raised their game for the marquee teams, and they did it against Sunday.
And another thing with the trade deadline coming up, they go for a wide receiver.
Yep.
That might put value. So
Exactly.
if you're looking for a spin there, that's not a bad.
Interesting.
And the other one, Joe was too scared to price up. When Lamar Jackson runs the table, he gets back in the conversation.
Can you even win MVP missing that much time?
When you win by $1 billion tonight, yes.
All right. Okay, moving on. The Colts are now a league best 7-1 and have the best offense in the NFL. Which star is more responsible for the Colts' success, Daniel Jones or Jonathan Taylor?
The offensive line.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's no question.
Yeah.
I mean,
Answer number 3, neither.
Number 3. If you look at some of these games and the hole that Jonathan Taylor has,
I could have run through it.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah. And, offensive linemen never get any credit, so I got to give him there. But not only that, if you open that up and Jonathan Taylor's be able to get however many yards he gets per run, then you know what that opens up? That opens up the passing game for Daniel Jones. So I think this is, they're facing bad competition week in, week out. So their offense looks sufficient. And I'm happy to see it because I did like Shane Steichen as a hire. They went with Anthony Richardson. That really didn't work out. They really couldn't get that offensive going. And now this year it's clicked. And I like when quarterbacks who've been trash do well. So I like when Daniel Jones has a little uprising. And Jonathan Taylor's just playing absolutely out of his mind right now. But I think it all comes down to that offensive line.
There's a reason quarterbacks take their offensive line out for dinner every single week. When
buy them presents.
Keep them happy, yeah? And Jonathan Taylor's checkbook must be getting some work for these dinners because these boys can sure eat. League's best offense versus the league's easiest schedule. Jonathan Taylor is the MVP. Will he win it? No, because running backs don't. We saw it with Saquon last year. It's clearly the running game, and the running game is set up by a great offensive line. I was a super fanboy of his at Wisconsin, I think he went to.
Yep.
Yeah. I love power running games. He's great to watch. I just hope that they don't overuse him. Obviously, drafting Tony Richardson was a bad idea in anybody's playbook, so we'll leave it at that.
All right. Moving on. Is this the best the Kansas City Chiefs have ever looked?
No. I think the Chiefs are still elite. Obviously, I picked them to win the AFC. I don't think that they're a bad team.
Because you couldn't read down the prices.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think their defense is still very strong, and their offense continues to grow each week. Is it like we saw 3 years ago? No, it's not that close with the Tyreek Hill and even Travis Kelce when he was close to his prime. So I think their offense still needs to get there, but defense still looks solid week in and week out. I think we're going to find out this weekend. This is always the primetime game. That's not a primetime game.
I know.
This game's probably going to do more handle than the Sunday Night Football game just because of them going back and forth and SGPs and everything going in there. So
and when you see the other 2 1 o'clocks.
Yeah, well, that too.
I wish they could
Nobody
flex
will watch
this early.
Yeah.
What they should have done is flexed those 2 games out of the 1 o'clock slot and put them at 6 in the morning like Europe.
Yeah, probably just send them over. That's what they should do.
Send them over.
Just a punishment for the Titans every week. Just send them over to Europe, play in Poland. I think we're going to find out this weekend if the Chiefs are still elite. Because if they blow out the Bills, it's going to be hard. And I think the Bills, they obviously had their get-right game last week. But are they going to be able to have that sustained success, especially against a team like the Chiefs defense? So we'll find out this week if they're still inching towards the best they've ever looked. But right now it's not.
Yeah.
The Chiefs do have the top 5 offense and defense for the first time since 1969.
Well, that's probably when they look the best.
That's a good point.
There you go.
Great point, Greg.
Unfortunately, I was not around in 1969, not quite. So in memory, 2020 was their best year, and that's the year they lost the Super Bowl to.
What?
Who did they lose the Super Bowl that year to?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Mr. Tom Brady.
There you go. No, this is not the best they've ever looked. They've already lost 3 games this year. And we're praising them because they beat up a team that were a 2-touchdown favorite against.
It's true. They have played 2 bad teams back to
Yeah.
back. And
They're
we
not
always,
even my number 1
We
team.
always
in
fall
the
for
range.
it every time.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Don't believe the hype. That's part of this job. You take a deep breath and you get a sense of reality straight away.
So maybe I'll ask this question again next week after they face the Bills.
Well, you can because you won't have to ask about Drake May.
All right, well,
Or she'll be apologizing.
moving on. Travis Kelce recorded his 100th career receiving touchdown, including playoffs. Kelce needs 1 more to become the Chiefs' all-time leader. Is Travis Kelce the greatest tight end of all time?
No, because he doesn't block.
No, exactly.
Yeah, you can't
He's
be the
not a tight
greatest
end.
tight end.
Yeah.
If he wants to try to get in the wide receiver, we already know he's not going to win the wide receiver conversation. So if you want to be the best wide receiver tight end combo, whatever you want to call it, sure. But, Rob Gronkowski
Period.
Not number 1.
blocked. Antonio Gates, Tony Gonzalez, those guys blocked as well. And that's not what we see Travis Kelce do. So no, he can't be the best tight end of all time if you don't want to block. You just want to get open for Patrick Mahomes.
The reason he's not number 1 is spot on because Joey said it, he doesn't block. But also when he renegotiated the previous contract, he wanted wide receiver money, which tells you straight away he's not a tight end or a historical one. The number 1, Tony Gonzalez. Is Kelce top 5? Probably not. I can think of Gonzalez, Jason Witten, Shannon Sharp, Antonio Gates, Gronk,
Yeah,
Mike
absolutely.
Ditka,
Gronk.
Ozzie Newsome. I grew up when tight ends played the position and actually blocked as well. No.
Gronk
Is he going to the Hall of Fame?
was.
Yes. Is he a great tight end? Theoretically, yes, but he's the tight end's position's changed over the years.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into our game previews, starting with Falcons at Patriots. Line, Patriots -5.5, total 45. The Falcons confuse me, very inconsistent. But guys, -5.5. Does this mean New England has your respect a little bit, or are there other factors at play here?
Slightly. The Patriots have a little bit of respect here. Do they have the respect because Drake May's the greatest quarterback of all time? No, that's not the reason. They're just a solid team, well-coached team. I don't think the Patriots are bad by any stretch of the means. But no, the Falcons are weird, right? They do have that up and down. Obviously, last week they didn't have Penix, they didn't have London. That was very clear. As Craig's Dolphins took care of business. We
Looks
were
like
happy
they
to see
didn't
that.
even have Bijan.
We were very happy to see that.
Straight up dog again.
He's
Called
straight
it.
up
It's
dog.
The only
He,
thing I'm
he
good at.
knows like one of two last week dogs. And
It's like a sixth sense.
It's the only sense I've got.
But no, I think the Falcons' defense took a step up this year. But still, even though they have pieces in offense, they haven't really been able to break the ceiling yet. Some games they look good. Some games they look terrible. Patriots are just solid, kind of running through. I think they're in the public sphere right now of like, oh, are they a great team? We'll see how they deal with that going forward. I do like the Falcons slightly here, just to stay within the number, because I do think they are competitive. They do have the pieces. It's just putting them together and getting over that hump of being the mid team or the good team.
The Falcons got absolutely blown out by the Dolphins, one of the worst teams in the league. Cousins looked rusty. You feel that there's a sense of lack of identity with them. Is it Penix's team, but you paid Cousins all the money, then you traded up to get Penix. Yeah, they missed London, but that wouldn't have made no difference last week. Miami won the coin toss and took the ball. They had a game plan. They were going to try and score straight out the gate and put the pressure on, and they did. Like the Eagles last week, this one is the head scratcher because this is my biggest difference on the spread on my numbers. I make the Patriots 7.5. And this pains me to say it, but the Pats by $1 billion.
Oof.
That really hurts.
As much as the Falcons confuse me, Craig continues to confuse me more.
Yes. He confuses himself as well. Don't worry about that.
All right, moving on. 49ers at Giants. Two banged up teams looking to get a win here. Lines 49ers -2.5, total 48.5. Joey, who do you like?
It's definitely the injury bowl. If I'm going to take between these two teams, I'm going to take the coach. I think really the lifeblood of this Giants team with Cam Scatterwood being gone is going to hurt them a lot because he really him and Dart just bring up the morale. And now if you have Cam Scatterwood out, Neighbors is out, leaving it to Singletary and Robinson, I just don't think that they are those leaders. They are those big boys. On the defense side, though, you still have a solid defense. Obviously, Carter in the mix for Defensive Rookie of the Year. But between the two, I'm going to take the Niners just because better coach team. Kittle's back, which is good. Whether it's Mac Jones or Purdy remains to be seen. I think it's probably still Mac Jones coming in this one.
Yeah, I think I saw that as well.
McCaffrey, I think, is going to be able to get it done with George Kittle and take care of this Giants team.
The future's bright in New York. Scatterboo, Dart, Neighbors, the defensive side, they're young as well. Dart and Scatterboo clearly enjoy being teammates. They must have so much fun on a Tuesday night. Interesting, this one. Teams traveling this distance, going west-east, as a road favorite, do really well. They're 30-20 the last 5 years against the spread, which is 60%. And they also win straight up at 78%, 41-12 record. So this proves the old adage of, yes, travel oppose, not necessarily. You have to look at the split between road favorites and road dogs. And we get two this week because Seattle's in the same bucket. This used to be the matchup of the 80s, which you two are not old enough to know because these always seem to play in the NFC Championship game or the playoffs. And just
it was the Bills-Chiefs of the 80s?
Yeah.
How the mighty have fallen.
Tremendous matchups like Montana against all the different quarterbacks. And then you had the defense of the Giants, which was their identity. But yeah, I mean, look, the injury bowl, I'd lean the 49ers. Dart's trying to do too much, and I think he'll need to mature a little bit more, but the future's great in New York.
All right. Moving on, we talked about it already. Chiefs at Bills, no doubt this is the game of the week. The Chiefs have won 3 straight, while the Bills bounced back with a blowout win against the Panthers last week, coming off their bye. Allen and the Buffalo Bills are 4-1 against Mahomes and the Chiefs during the regular season. Keyword regular season there. Line, Chiefs -2. Who do you like, Joey? I think you said, or Craig likes the Bills.
Craig likes the Bills. I like the Chiefs here, and maybe that's a little bit of an emotional hedge because I'd be happy if the Chiefs lose this one.
Shocker.
So maybe I'll just do the emotional hedge, but I do think Kansas City just, from week 1, and I know they had 2 absolutely garbage teams that they beat up on these past 2 weeks, but they continue to prove each week. You get Worthy back, that levels up the game. You get Rashee Rice back, they're doing the same crossing, and then all of a sudden, what? Travis Kelce has a good game, right? Because he can, because they got other people to worry about on the field, and he can kind of just be that free runner. Defense is still solid. Spagnuolo is still the man, and there's just something about the Bills and Josh Allen that they just don't have that star. Like Rashee Rice is there, Xavier Worthy's there. Who's that for the Bills? Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid has been injured, but also up and down. They just don't have that extra star player, so it solely relies on Josh Allen, and I think that's something of a disaster. As we saw the first couple weeks with Mahomes, because it was only Mahomes out there, right? They start terribly. So I lean Chiefs here, even though I hate it. I do not like the Chiefs. Everybody knows that. I don't think any bookmaker likes the Chiefs. But I think they just get it done. They flip the script here, and maybe that's good for the Bills because they seem to go 4-1. What are they in playoffs against the Chiefs? So let's have a little reverse and see if the Bills can get it done in the playoffs against the Chiefs because they'll definitely be there.
Another Halloween nod. This was a horror movie last year for us when Josh Allen basically won the MVP. Ran for it on 4th down, should have took the knee instead, ran into the end zone. The total goes over, and all the customers cash. And that's the one memory I have. Man of the people. Yeah, man of the people. Yeah, just top probably wasn't a great weekend that year anyway. Bills had lost 4 straight to the Chiefs in Buffalo until last year. Allen nailed his MVP title last year with his performance, and I think he makes himself favorite again this year. It's in Buffalo, which helps. The crowd will be crazy, but not as crazy because it's a 1 o'clock kickoff. If this was prime time, I think it's a different matchup, and it's a shame you knew this was coming, so why couldn't you have flexed this out?
Yeah.
Weird
they would even put it on at 1 o'clock.
And there's only 3 1 o'clock games this week, and the other 2 are what? The Saints, Rams, okay, double-digit favorite, and the Jags, Raiders, which I don't think any of those 2 teams fans are going to watch that game.
Yeah, everyone will be tuning into this one, that's for sure. Joey, I want to follow up with something you mentioned. Do you think there's a chance the Bills do something crazy before the trade deadline to get Josh Allen a guy?
I think it's possible.
Do you think it's needed?
I think it is needed for sure because they need that true wide receiver 1, which they don't have, and it's very clear to me because if you get that true threat as a wide receiver, then that opens up James Cook to run. Then it opens up Josh Allen to scramble. Like you become the Colts, right? You just have those multiple wherever you got to worry about everybody, and someone's able to take advantage of it, and that's how you can game plan well. And so they probably should. I don't know if they will. I think they're pretty comfortable with their schedule being very simple. So I don't know if they feel like they have to go all in this year. But it is needed. I do think it is needed.
At some stage, they're going to have to go all in because Josh Allen can't carry them on his own.
Right.
Is that this year? I don't know. Bills were favourites to start the season. They've got the easiest schedule, but they've slipped up a couple of times in games that they absolutely should have won. But so have the Chiefs.
A.J. Brown would be big for the Bills.
That would be insane. All right, Sunday Night Football, Seahawks at Commanders. Quarterback Jaden Daniels is expected to play, barring a Lamar-esque switch before that Sunday night game.
Please not.
Of all the weeks to do that.
yeah, please don't do that.
Line is Seahawks -3, total 48. Who do we like here?
It's got to be the Seahawks. I think that the Commanders, they showed flashes of being somewhat competitive when they got Debo back and Scary Terry.
He's out this week.
He's out this week again?
Yeah,
well,
they did just mention that. But they were in it first half.
They were in it for the first half for sure. Yeah, I think it's Seattle. I think it's all Seattle here. Seattle's coming off the bye, I believe, in this one, which we've seen really boost a lot of teams. We saw the Bills last week come off the bye. We've seen the previous week coming off the bye. It's worked well for a lot of teams, and probably this, former Ravens coach, same kind of procedure they have in the off bye week. So Seattle doesn't necessarily look flashy at times, but they do look consistent. So I think Seattle is going to be able to get it done. Like Craig said, even another angle going east to west might even help them in this spot.
Or west east.
West east, yeah.
I mean, I'm terrible at geography, but I know where Seattle is.
Yeah, you're right. West East.
This is the third travel game for Seattle this year. They lost by 3 to the Bucs in a game they absolutely should have won as a favorite. And they beat the Jags by 8 again when they were favorite on the road. 13th matchup against Washington, where only 2 of the previous games have gone over the total. So expect a lower scoring game. And then I went and checked my other angle, and we can put a line through that straight away. I loved what Washington did last week against Kansas City. They did everything to try and win the game, knowing that they were the less superior of the 2 teams up against it. No kicker. I thought the coaching and the game plan, and even the coach. I hate those those interviews where they interview the coach in the game. It's just the worst thing ever. Let the guy do his job. But he said himself, "We've got to be ballsy. We've got to go for this. Like, it's the only way we're going to win this game." And they fell short, right? But they fell short to a far superior team, and they're injured.
Yeah.
This is a must-win really for Washington, because Detroit's on the docket next week, and Detroit owes them one. And Dan Campbell's got this on the calendar.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Because I believe I called Washington straight up in
You
that
did.
playoff game.
You did.
It's the only thing I'm good at.
Again, with that sixth sense.
Yeah, this is make or break for Washington, because the season's over next week if they lose this one.
Ooh. All right. Let's get into our picks of the week. Favorite NFL game to go over?
Like the efficient offense, a defense that's left a lot to be desired. Give me the Colts, Steelers over 50.5.
Seattle, Washington over 47.5 for angle preset mentioned.
All right. Favorite NFL game to go under?
Falcons and Patriots under 45. Go with that. I think improved Falcons defense.
Jags, Raiders 44.5. I think even those 2 teams will be watching the Bills, Chiefs.
Favorite team to cover the spread?
Go with the hot team, Indianapolis Colts -3.
One that has not lost this year, and 4 of them should have won straight up. 3 of them have. Vikings plus 8.5. 8.5 point dogs this year, 6-0.
All right. Upset of the week in the NFL?
The Miami Dolphins going to take care of business tonight.
So
against the Ravens.
Against the Ravens. We'll finally get to rip up those Craig tickets and be done with the Ravens.
Is this an emotional pick? You're
yes, of course it is.
fingers crossed?
No,
or you really believe in the Dolphins?
I think week in and week out, I don't believe in the Dolphins. No. But I think week in and week out, there's just an extra stated on this Ravens team that really haven't shown us. I mean, it's not like, what are they, 2-6?
2-5.
2-5? Yeah, I think they just haven't gotten the deserved favorite spot here, and I think the Dolphins are still fighting for the life.
The problem is with that game tonight, like Tua won the game with one eye apparently because he had some
works.
injured.
We should do that again.
It works, but it shows how playing quarterback and opening your eyes, because the other 10 picks he must have played blindfolded. Steelers plus 145, nothing sexy, I'm afraid. I just think they get back on track.
Ooh, all right. Craig, any weather to be aware of?
Green Bay, 15-mile-an-hour winds. Not enough for me to want to bet the under, though.
Okay. Let's get into our anytime touchdown parlay, tailing with the traders. You can bet this if you like it on the Caesar Sportsbook app. 1 pick per person. Joey, start us off.
All right, I'm going back to quarterbacks, and I'm going to a team that has no other stars but him. Give me Jackson Dart plus 185 against the 49ers.
All right. Well, it is a homecoming, or not a homecoming, but give me Puka against the Saints. He's going to be back. He's going to be healthy, and he's was the best receiver in the league prior to his injury.
Okay. I'm going to quarterback.
Okay.
Does that upset you, Joey?
No.
It will when it wins, and Joey's doesn't. I mean, although Jackson Dart does score often, I'm going for one that's probably going to be a pretty big price. Jordan Love, happy birthday. It's his 27th birthday on Sunday. I'm wishing you in advance. Carry that ball over the line just once to get me home.
That's actually a good play.
You've had like 5 winners this year.
I know.
Well
2
done.
in a row, too.
Crazy.
Yeah.
2 in a row. Yeah. Okay, let's get into our picks of the week for college and NFL. Anyone want to start?
I'll start because I'm absolutely awful at this. After I mentioned Joey's 6-0, you go 4-0. I tip my cap. I will be buying dinner again this year. I'm going to go over Seattle and Washington, 47.5. And I'm going to go Stanford plus 14.5 against Pittsburgh in college.
All right.
College side, I'm going Tennessee -3. And the Indianapolis Colts fading Craig here. I don't think the Steelers are good. -3.
All right.
You're going against my dog of the week.
I'm going to get your dog of the week.
Ooh.
That's brave.
All right. For college, I am laying the points with Ohio State -20.5.
Smart.
And NFL, I'm going back and forth.
Let me guess, the Pats.
Well, that's going to make me choose the other one. I'm going to go Bills Chiefs total over.
Oh, God.
Please not. I hope you're wrong.
We'd be crying on Sunday when that happens. Yeah.
I'm with
You're
the
not a company
majority. What can I
clearly not
say?
a company
What can I
person.
say? I just pick what's going to happen. There's
And
no
clearly
allegiances.
you do, as we've seen.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode. If you don't already, please subscribe to Talking with Our Traders wherever you listen to your podcasts. Follow at Caesar Sports on Instagram, Facebook, X, YouTube. Guys, any final words before we head off into this weekend?
Happy Halloween. Don't eat too much candy and bet responsibly.
Can't say better than that.
Yeah, that was good. All right. Bye.
Right.